Hey guys, I have another question for you, and the question is, what food can you not resist? Okay, so if I were to put some food in your face, what food could you not say no to? That's the question for today. In fact, I put a link down in the description. Don't type this in the comment section. Click the link in the description and type it out there, because I'm going to summarize everyone's answers and create another video to show you the #1 food that people cannot resist. So in the description is a link. Go ahead and go in there and type it out, and then I'll actually tabulate everything. Okay, so what is the food that you can't say no to? What is the food that has power over you? Is it rice? White rice with butter and salt? How about warm bread out of the oven? Sourdough bread with either butter or olive oil. How about chocolate? Cheesecake? How about chocolate cheesecake together? Cake? Chips? Pizza? What can you not resist? So really the willpower is your strength, your ability to say no, to resist the temptation. But the worst situation is the group setting, the social situation where you have this group of people who are all off the program and they are partying, whatever, and it's going to be really hard to say no in that situation. So really, even more specifically than carbs causing obesity, it's really the packaging of the carbs, okay, that really is the culprit. The packaging they make for carbs are unbelievably attractive, very cheap, very available. You go through the grocery line and you look to the right side or the left, and it's just filled with carbs, right? You got all the chocolate candies, you have the chips, you have the sodas, it's all right there. So it's right in your face all the time. It's very irresistible, especially if you go through that line with low blood sugars. And this is why, for the newbies, click the link down below on keto intermittent fasting. You need to start that program to get to a state where your body doesn't crave anymore. It's not as hungry anymore, to make it easy to be able to cope. And of course, Dr. Berg tells you, hey, avoid the carbs, you can have the fat. And then you go on the internet and someone else says, no, fat's going to kill you, it's going to cause diabetes. And what they don't tell you is the studies on high-fat diets are on mice, and the diet that they give mice is not really a high-fat diet. It's a high-fat and a high-carb diet. They don't tell you that, but that's the truth. So before you believe those studies, actually read the study, and you're going to find that consuming a high-fat diet with low carbs, totally healthy. Now, how do we get our power back? How do we get out of this trap? Well, it starts with reading labels. Okay, very, very important. Why? Because there are certain things in foods that are creating the problem. And I consider these chemicals an actual drug, but one is the MSG, monosodium glutamate. But recently, they don't use the word monosodium glutamate. They use the word modified food starch. It's the exact same thing. It's also in the fast food restaurants, Chinese restaurants. It's in a lot of foods in the grocery store. It's there to give you a very unique flavor, savory. And what happens though when you consume this chemical is it increases insulin by 300%, which means that it's altering your blood sugars. It means that it's going to cause you to eat more. And this is why they put it in foods, so you can keep buying more. And you're especially going to want more the next day. So you're going to go back and have more of that, more of that. I mean, just think about the last time you ate at the fast food place, last week, right? And then you eat this, and then the next day you go, your blood sugar crash, you want to go back to the same old thing. And that's really a trap. So MSG can really mess with you. You got to read labels because it's hidden all over the place. They even put it in salad dressing. Also, high fructose corn syrup decreases a natural body hormone called leptin. And what does that mean? It means that the hunger doesn't shut off. So you don't feel satisfied when you consume high fructose corn syrup. So definitely in the sodas, it's a problem because you could just drink a lot of this stuff without feeling satisfied. Yeah, and that's going to just make a fatty liver. Okay, let's say, for example, you crave chips, okay, because you like the salt in there. And you eat these chips to satisfy your salt craving. Well, how about just consuming salt? That'd be a new concept, right? So yeah, if you like chips, that means you need more salt. The problem is when you eat the chip, it has a carb, which will then cause more water retention, more sodium retention, and it creates like a waterlogged situation. So it's not good. Just get the salt from the diet somehow. Okay, starches. Let's say you crave rice, bread, pasta, mac and cheese, right? There's a couple issues with that. Number one being you're going to start retaining fluid because it's a carbohydrate, and it's going to be converted to fat. It's going to be really hard to lose weight because you're going to spike insulin. One way to diminish the carbohydrate to starch craving is to take more B vitamins. That does lower the craving to wheat and grains. Okay, so that's one way. So really, as a starch is basically a bunch of sugar molecules connected. The other smart thing to do would be to start consuming keto desserts. I'm going to put a link down below if you don't even know what that means, but you can actually create some amazing, great desserts that mimic the food that you love, okay, but without the bad stuff. And then you can consume that at the end of the meal and not feel deprived. Okay, how about that? And then of course, keto and IF. That's the ultimate solution. It's working with thousands and thousands of people. It's probably working with you because you're probably doing it. But this message is for those people that are not doing it. It's going to really increase your resistance by decreasing your hunger. So you can resist it more because you don't have any more cravings and you're not hungry anymore. But don't forget, click the link down below and then type out the main food that you can't resist. I'll do a further follow-up video on that. Thanks for watching. So if you want more knowledge on how to create a healthy body, subscribe now and get daily notifications. Daily notifications, that sounds weird. Well, I'll just remind you on a daily basis. How about that?